You are in a relationship right now, or you have been, and at some point you felt it. That specific feeling when your partner looked at someone else a second too long, when they laughed a little too hard at someone else's joke. Jealousy. It felt ancient, primal, like the oldest feeling in the world. It isn't. For 95% of human history, jealousy didn't exist, not because they were enlightened, because nobody owned anyone. Nobody asked where you were last night. Nobody checked your phone. Nobody needed to. Let's start with the reality. For roughly 300,000 years, you lived in a group of 15 to 50 people. You knew every single one of them. You ate with them, you slept near them, you hunted with them, you raised children with them. There were no strangers, no dating apps, no first dates, just the group. And in that group, partners were not chosen the way you choose them now. You didn't swipe. You didn't match. You didn't send a follow-up text wondering if they liked you back. You saw someone across the fire. You walked over. That was the whole process, through reputation. You came back with food every time. You shared it without being asked. You showed up when someone needed help. That was your profile. No LinkedIn, no references, no follow-up email. Just whether you came back with food. And everyone already knew it. So how did it actually work? In the forests of Paraguay, there is a group called the Ache. They have lived as hunter-gatherers for thousands of years. No marriage contracts, no ownership of partners, no expectation of exclusivity. Both men and women moved between partners freely, and nobody went home alone. If you wanted someone, you told them. If they wanted you back, you stayed. If they didn't, you walked back to the fire and found someone who did. No rejection spiral, no 3-day rule, no wondering if they liked you back. Just the fire and whoever was sitting next to it. Tonight it was one person. Tomorrow it was someone else. Nobody remembered. Nobody kept score. There was no score. Nobody hit it. Nobody punished it. Nobody even had a strong word for it. In 1996, anthropologist Kim Hill at Arizona State University studied the Ache and found something that changed how scientists think about ancient relationships entirely. Every Ache child had on average more than 2 men who considered themselves the father. Not by accident, by design. When you had relations with multiple partners, each of those partners brought food back for your child. Each of them watched over your child at night. Each of them helped build shelter for your child. One father could die on a hunt tomorrow. 2 fathers could not both die at once. The child with multiple potential fathers survived at dramatically higher rates than the child with one. You didn't share partners because you were free. You shared partners because your children lived longer because of it. But here's the part that nobody talks about. Nobody chose this because they were evolved or enlightened. They chose it because the alternative got you killed. You didn't own a house. You didn't own land. You didn't own anything that couldn't fit in your hands. So you couldn't own a person either. In 2011, researcher Christopher Ryan published research showing that for 95% of human history, partners were shared the same way food was shared. If someone had more than they needed, they gave it away. Not because they were generous, because hoarding was the most dangerous thing you could do. A person who hoarded food got cast out. A person who hoarded a partner got cast out. The tribe enforced it. Not with laws, with something more powerful. Every single person around you. Every single day. You shared or you were alone. And alone meant dead. Nobody ghosted either. You couldn't. They were right there. So when did this change? The answer is one word. Jealousy. Not the feeling, the invention. For 300,000 years, you could not know which children were yours. Not with any certainty, so you helped raise all of them, every child in the group, because any one of them might be yours. That was not a problem. That was the system. Then 10,000 years ago, you stopped moving. You planted seeds. You built walls. You stayed in one place. And for the first time in human history, you owned something that couldn't be carried. Land. And land needed to pass to someone specific. Your blood. Not someone else's blood. Suddenly, it mattered which child came from you, and the only way to know which child was yours was to control who your partner had access to. exclusively. That is the moment jealousy was invented, not as a feeling that emerged naturally from love, as a tool, engineered to protect inheritance, the possessiveness you feel today, that specific tightness in your chest when your partner looks at someone else. That is not ancient. That is not primal. That is not the oldest feeling in the world. It was invented 10,000 years ago to protect someone else's land. Then came religion to bless it, then laws to enforce it, then centuries of calling it natural. It wasn't. That is the whole story. Except it isn't. Because here is what happened when monogamy replaced the group. You took everything one person used to share with 50 people and handed it to one person alone. Every meal, every crisis, every bad day, every child, every fear, every need. One person. And then you wondered why that one person burned out, why relationships collapsed, why loneliness spread even inside marriages, why people stayed together miserable because leaving felt impossible. For 300,000 years, you never asked one person to be everything. Then you did, and you called it love. Your ancestors never felt jealous. They never raised a child alone. They never needed one person to meet every need they had. Then we invented ownership, and we've been trying to make one person enough ever since.